Today we're taking our second foray into South America to talk about River Plate. River are from Argentina. They're in Buenos Aires in the north side in the Núñez and Belgrano neighborhoods. As you can see, their kit is all white and they have a very predominant red slash across it, giving their nickname La Banda or the Stripe. Okay, 3 key badges you can see on this kit. On their sleeve, you can see they've won 4 Copa Libertadores titles, which means in the middle on this kit from 2019-20, they're allowed to wear the badge here showing that championship from 2018, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And finally, their club badge, which sits right on the stripe, also has a red stripe down it, so pretty much their badge mirrors the exact same colors they have for their home kit. River are part of what's called the Big Five clubs in Argentina, out of which their most important and fiercest rival is crosstown team Boca Juniors, with whom they compete probably the most important derby in the world, the Super Clásico. Many of the other Clásicos around the world that you would know in Spain as well in Mexico take their name from here. This match is about as big as it gets in club football, and while Boca does have an advantage in victories all time over River at this point, River probably have the best bragging rights because in 2018, they won this title in the Copa Libertadores. To give you an idea of how big this was, fans and journalists were calling it the final to end all finals before it even happened. The first leg ended 2-2 at Boca Stadium, and the second leg couldn't happen at River Stadium, El Monumental, because the bus carrying the Boca players was attacked with rocks and bottles and all kinds of stuff on the way to the stadium. So instead, they had to delay it, and they had to play it at the Santiago Bernabeu, Real Madrid Stadium. This is how big this is. It had to be played on a different continent in order to complete it, of which it was, and River won and took the title from Boca, the only time they played in a Copa Libertadores title final. To go along with those 4 Copa Libertadores titles, they've won 37 Primera Division titles in Argentina, as well as 14 national cups across the myriad of different ones that Argentina has had over the years. On top of that, they've also won 1 Copa Sudamericana and 3 Recopa Sudamericanas. If you're not familiar with the South American Cup system, let me break it down a little bit for you. First, the Copa Libertadores is the highest title. That's like your Champions League in Europe. Second level is the Copa Sudamericana. That's like your Europa League in Europe. And finally, the Recopa Sudamericana, that's like your UEFA Super Cup, which is played between the finals winners of both of these competitions. They're a very consistently successful club. As you saw, they've won a ton of titles. They've only had one period where they were very fallow, and that would be in the late 50s into all of the 60s up to 1975, where they had an 18-year stretch where they didn't win a title. To name you 3 players in the current squad, let's start with 2 of their midfielders. Juan Fernando Quintero, although everybody calls him Juanfer, who scored the winning goal in the Copa Libertadores final in 2018. Their captain and another midfielder, Enzo Perez. And finally, one of their strikers who's about to move to Manchester City in the summer, who's back on loan there, Julian Alvarez. So that's our first team in Argentinian football, River Plate.